Hello everyone and welcome to the Studs Up podcast. This is a review session of the round that was just on in the English Premier League. Hi, I'm Garfield. I'm joined as always by my co-host Simon Says. Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can always go to our Facebook page, Studs Up, or you can find us on our website, studsup-football.com. Now I'm going to dive straight into this because it was the biggest, possibly game of the year for Simon Says and I.
Oh, yeah.
Liverpool versus Manchester United.
Welcome to round 8, everybody. This was massive.
It was a
big
game.
Yeah, look, I was really excited and I was pretty cocky.
You were pretty cocky.
In the last potty, a lot of that was parochialism because, to be honest, the result is a lot closer to what I expected. You tipped it. You tipped a 1-1. It was 0-0, which is pretty close.
Yep.
I got to say, I'm surprised that neither team scored.
So am I.
I'm very surprised. It was far more defensively savvy performance by both sides than I expected, given how poor both sides had been defensively.
Absolutely.
So it's as though they both found their defensive core and solidarity.
Particularly Mourinho,
yes.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I was actually talking to you earlier off air, and there's a lot of guys on the forums who are talking up the whole
on the
boring
forums, of course.
Liverpool forums, the boring Mourinho. You know, he's got no style.
He parked the bus. He's a park the bus merchant. All that kind of stuff.
Look, he may have parked the bus, and there's some photographic evidence floating around on the web now that shows a block of 9 players behind the ball in a very perfect two sets of lines. But I have to say, I watched the game, and for me, United they demonstrated a lot of counter-attacking verve. I thought they were pretty exciting to watch. I mean, this was one of the more exciting 0-0 draws I've seen. It was tense. There were a lot of tough battles. Ignoring the fact that Liverpool couldn't string a pass for about 28 minutes.
Yeah, for the first half hour, basically.
38% completion rate on their passing.
It was insane.
It was really awful.
Yeah.
But putting that aside, I think United came with a game plan and executed it far better than Liverpool.
Yeah.
I would say that Liverpool shaded the match.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And overall had the better chances to win,
Yeah.
and the only person that really separated it was De Gea in the end.
Yep.
But you cannot discount the defensive solidarity that United showed.
Yep.
A lot of organisation, and I think that they still looked pretty good in attack. So I personally don't bear any grudges towards the match like I did with the Chelsea match with the famous Gerrard slip.
Yeah.
I felt that was a far more dour encounter that they asked the victory. They really asked that victory.
Well, yeah, this was a really interesting game for me in that I know a lot of United fans were scared of this from Mourinho, if I can put it that way.
I get it. Makes sense, right?
Yeah, it does. I mean, he's got that reputation for playing relatively dour football, but this was a perfect defensive masterclass. I mean, there's a lot of stats that have come out about, Manchester United only had 35% of possession. Amazing statistic, by the way. Since Opta Stats started, that's the lowest percentage of any Manchester United team in possession since 2003.
But can I also say that I also feel that since 2003, this is one of the most dangerous attacking Liverpool sides.
Absolutely.
Who play possession football.
Absolutely.
Not, for example, I know that the 2013-2014 side was equally dangerous with Suarez, but we were a counter-attacking unit there.
That's right.
So we did cede possession there, which is why you wouldn't have seen that sort of stat back then.
Absolutely.
Whereas this team, we love to dominate with the ball. We play a little bit like Man City, but with more pressing.
Yeah. With a little bit more heavy metal, as Klopp would say.
A bit more heavy metal, exactly. Yeah. Metallica all the way.
Absolutely.
So
Ride the lightning.
That's right. I like these references. I do like them. So I kind of feel like totally justified as an actual game plan. If it wasn't United's game plan and that was the result, I would say, they got dominated. But that was their game plan.
No, their game plan. You know what? Mourinho was the master of puppets on this one. Yeah. Reference. That he managed to come in and basically set his stall out and say, you know what? Even if we can't nick the goal here, we are not losing this game. Correct. And we're going to get in your faces for the first half hour in particular and throw you off your rhythm.
He had
that's
2
exactly
goals.
What he did.
He had 2 goals in mind.
Yep.
Don't lose.
Correct.
And then try nick a goal.
Yeah. And that, you know what? That is Mourinho in his element.
Exactly. But you know what? I totally get it. You need to... It's horses for courses.
Totally.
You're not talking about United in their pomp. You're talking about a United side that he's still trying to rebuild.
Yeah, it's very much still in the rebuilding phase.
Absolutely. He's trying to get the right people involved. And I mean, there was no one player that really bossed this game. And even the players that you expected to perform kind of didn't. I mean, I don't think Pogba had a bad game, but he was rushed off the ball at every moment. He was harried.
Can I say, I actually disagree with you on just one tiny little thing there. I thought there was a player that bossed the game.
Herrera.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
I say yes and no. I think Herrera was a little bit fortunate that he didn't end up with the second yellow, just from the sheer number of fouls that he committed. I think that although he was great in terms of his energy, and I just think he was found out a little bit in terms of
interceptions, tackles. Oh, amazing.
Yeah, tons.
He was all over the place.
He was all over the place. I just think that he's still got a lot to learn about the art of tackling.
Yeah. He's got to touch the skulls about him.
Yeah,
if I can put it that way.
A little bit, but he's getting better every game.
And I mean, he's playing a lot deeper nowadays than he used to. I mean, he came as basically a natural number 10, and we've slowly just regressed him deeper and deeper and deeper into the midfield.
Yeah.
And he's doing it so well now. He's actually starting to dictate tempo to a certain degree of the way that we play on the counter. I even thought Fellaini, for all of his faults, actually had a really good game.
Yeah, a little bit less aggro as well.
Yeah, and but even his passing was
a pretty
crisp.
chill match.
Yeah, for a derby, it was a pretty chill game. Yeah.
For a derby, that was very chill. I think the ref did a magnificent job. So for all you haters out there, we were right.
Yes.
I thought he was outstanding.
He was exceptional.
In fact, if anything, I think Liverpool escaped the match without a single yellow. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So, I mean, come on, guys. Refs just don't do that. Anyway.
Exactly. We won't harp on it, but
no, we won't.
It was always a stupid thing to say.
I thought he had a great game.
Yeah, he was exceptional. And you know what? The fact that we don't want to talk about it shows how good a game he had.
I 100% agree. So for me, my conclusion on Liverpool is that this is probably in line with what I expected. I think that a lot of Liverpool fans were getting very, very carried away with where we're at this point of the season, and the fact they were giddy that if we won this match, we would have gone equal top on points, which we haven't really done for a very long time.
Absolutely.
So I think everyone was a little bit excited about that prospect, but a patent reality was before the season started, we were saying, come on, if we fight hard enough, we'll be 4th, 5th or 6th, and if we try our best and we get a few things go our way, we'll get 4th. So we need to be really honest with ourselves as Liverpool fans, and say that this was still a good result for us.
Yeah.
David De Gea saved United, yes.
Absolutely.
And I know that even the neutrals would have wanted to see that go in from Coutinho.
But that save was ridiculous.
Stunning on both parts. So that was football at its finest.
Yeah, that was
as good a shot as you'll see, and as good a save as you'll see.
I've never seen him hit one as sweetly, and he's hit some sweet shots, but that was just... and then the save was...
Yeah. Usually, you end up after those saying, if you just put it a little bit higher or a little bit wider.
No, that was perfect. There was no better. It was like he actually got it directly into the corner, and somehow De Gea is just no.
You just know that Dimitri Payet was at home, quietly nodding his head and rubbing his beard, going, very good.
Very nice. Very nice indeed.
I might do that myself, but I'll score.
I'll try that next week.
But I will score.
After 3 Rabonas. And
So look, that's how I feel about it. Yeah. As a United fan, did you come away from that feeling satisfied? I mean, I feel like you should.
I went into it really wanting a point from that game. I thought if we'd lost that game, the hysteria that would have come from it would have hurt us.
Yeah.
I would have loved a win. But realistically, going to Anfield at the moment and the form they're in, even though that they were missing Lallana from the starting lineup, Wijnaldum from the starting lineup.
You thought it was a chance, obviously.
There was clearly a chance. But the way...
Coutinho and Firmino were clearly tired from all that travel.
Yeah, and they got in each other's way a little bit positionally.
Yeah, see, that was the weird part about having Coutinho deeper in the midfield. Every time Firmino tried to drop back, they were running similar channels.
Yeah, no, it wasn't great.
And they ran over each other big time. I think Coutinho needs to be further forward, and I think the problem is that Sturridge really disrupted that play.
Didn't he what? He really upsets Liverpool's fluid system. As I've said to you before, they're a much better team without him.
Which is why I thought it was a mistake bringing on Origi late on. I feel like the player that was missing from that side was Danny Ings.
A channel runner. Proper old school channel runner.
That's right. He has a bit of mongrel, he's got guile, and he's in terrific form. He scored about 100 goals in 3 games. It's nuts the form that he's in. He didn't even make the bench, which I think was a mistake. I think that if there was going to be a game to blood him back into the side, I think the last 20 minutes of this game, when he knew that Coutinho and or Firmino were going to tire, it just made obvious sense to me that that's what he should have done. So I really disagree with Klopp on that one. I think that was a naive move on his part. I think I understand the logic. Sturridge is a big game player, has played well historically against United. Yeah. He can break the game, but when a system doesn't suit you,
it's breaking up their fluidity of attack, and that's more problematic than having a game changer.
And Origi is just Sturridge Mark II.
Yeah, well, for that particular game in that particular system,
less breakable, less breakable version of Sturridge.
Yeah. He's not made of balsa wood.
Yeah, so I just looked at it and thought, sorry guys, I don't know if you've got that plan B down pat. If you're going to do that, it actually would have made more sense if he brought on Origi, kept Sturridge, and reverted to a 4-4-2.
Yeah, and then actually tried to attack that way. Yeah.
I actually
using
think that
Firmino out on the wing with Coutinho cutting inside and trying to destroy
and bring
them
off when Firmino got tired, bring off Firmino and bring on Lallana.
Yeah.
And let Lallana play wide, because it doesn't matter that he's kind of playing an inside forwardy role.
Yeah.
You know, Liverpool never plays classic wingers anyway.
No, he's a great link man regardless. So.
Coutinho on the left, Lallana on the right, they can swap.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been an interesting thing for United to deal with. I don't know how they would have dealt with that.
Yeah, it would have been more problematic. The other thing I'll, by the way, say about Mourinho before we move on from this game is when I first saw that team selection, I just went, Ashley Young?
Yeah.
Really?
Had a great game.
Amazing game.
Amazing game.
And I can see in hindsight why he chose him. The same reason I can see why, and I pushed for it at the time, he chose Jesse Lingard against Man City.
Correct.
Because he's a player who is disciplined and will follow orders. Now, Lingard, granted, didn't have a great game against
touchline a lot more.
Yeah,
he
Young
gave United
did,
width,
which is kind of what they need. I mean, it's
against 3-3. You've got these extra gaps down that wing. I mean,
and he marks so beautifully anyway. I mean,
he has played fullback.
That's right, and he was always a really diligent worker. So I think that was actually a really good plan there by Mourinho to help shut down Liverpool's system, using Ashley Young as basically the defensive wide winger who can then break at speed.
So can I ask you then? Do you feel that overall this banishes Mourinho's ghosts?
No.
No, it doesn't. Okay.
No.
Well, I don't know. I think this goes a long way to showing me the manager he's going to be for United. I think we saw some pure Mourinho tonight. Yeah. I saw a Mourinho full of confidence. He had courage in his convictions. He made the right choices. And finally, we saw his tactics work exactly as they should. Yeah. Because he's now not afraid of having to shoehorn Rooney in the side.
And isn't that a massive
He's
plus?
Unshackled, and I think we saw some pure Mourinho.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, if he can finally get the best out of Pogba, you'll see a different Manchester United as well.
That wasn't Pogba's fault. Pogba didn't have the best game, but Pogba was just marked. He was hounded by Emre Can, who had a great game.
He did have a very good game. But I mean, even then though, Pogba created probably the best clear chance of the game for United when he put Ibra in.
Which is why I think he still had a decent game. So I wouldn't say that Pogba had a bad game.
No, I'm not saying he had a bad game, but what I'm saying is when Mourinho works out how to use him within the system well, I think then you'll see the real Manchester United start to come to the fore. Is this going to be a season enough for him to get into the top 4 though, with the way that the 6 teams above us are playing? That's the problem.
You've conceded some space. That's the only problem.
5 points off the top
You've conceded a bit of ground. Can you get above them? You can get above enough of them to get into Champions League because it just takes Arsenal to have a few injuries and they could easily have a bad run of form. You never know.
Yeah, they might do the Arsenal.
They might do the classic Arsenal. I'm still a little undecided about Tottenham, which is maybe a game we should jump to because we both got that wrong.
Yeah.
But let me end it on end the Liverpool United discussion for me on I think the result was fair and I think that both sides got what they deserved out of it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Mourinho
this might be the first time we've had a proper footballing discussion on this show.
Probably, yeah.
This is proper.
Also, without breaking out into, no, you're an idiot.
And Garfield sucks.
Yeah, exactly. And Brexit and all that.
Racist! Get him out of here.
Why did I bring that up myself? That was so stupid. What was I thinking? No, I agree. I think it was a fair result. I think Mourinho went there for the draw. He's walked away with a point. His reputation is somewhat restored.
Liverpool remain 4th in the league after 8 games.
Very happy times.
Shocking.
Yeah, very happy times.
After the run of games we've had.
Exactly. A really rough run of away games. Still to be 4th is not to be sniffed at.
Exactly. And outright 4th.
Yeah, and I would now pretty much bet the house that they're going to be top 4 this season. I can't see how they could slip away from
possible.
They might. I mean, it could happen, but with Klopp there, with that team that he's slowly assembling, and he's starting to work out his formulas.
Yeah.
I think they're bolted on for that top 4. But anyway, let's move on to another team that could be in the top 4, Tottenham Hotspur.
Tottenham Hotspur. Well, I mean, look, I wasn't expecting that result, and I can say that you weren't either, because
No, I was not.
I tipped a 1-3 away win for Tottenham, and you tipped a 0-2 away win for Tottenham. The result was 1-1.
It was.
Against a resolute WBA
As they always
side,
are.
with the fairy tale of having the alumni score
Chadley
against their
back.
club.
Yep.
I got to say, Nasser Chadley,
Good player.
looking a good player at WBA. He looked a good player at Tottenham.
He always did, but he never quite...
Just not quite enough. I mean, when you look at people like Moussa Dembele, you're like, well, I can kind of get why you're not still there. But
or Ericsson, and,
Yeah, I know. I mean, that whole side is so good.
Yeah.
So, which makes this... By the way, I know WBA is thinking, they could have possibly won that game, but... Hey, that was a really good performance by them.
It was excellent.
And they should not be disheartened by the fact that Tottenham got that goal in the end.
And it was classic Paulus.
Yeah.
Oh, mind you. Oh, Foster had an amazing game.
Is he better than Hart?
Okay, you know what? I was actually having this discussion not long ago.
Really?
And I was saying...
With someone with a brain?
No, definitely not.
Oh, really? No?
No. With a brain.
Oh, good.
And I was saying, on his day, I think Foster's actually a better shot stopper than Hart, but Hart's a consistently better keeper over a season, for example.
At Torino?
At Torino at the moment. But I mean, when Foster's on fire, he's unbeatable. I mean, when he has a good game, he's insanely good.
I thought his positioning was very good in the match
he is
as well.
an excellent keeper. He's a genuinely excellent keeper. I mean, we saw that at United, but he was really young.
How old is he now?
He's in his 30s now. He's not like I think he's 31 off the top of my head. I might be wrong. Hey, right in
30. I thought that was my time.
Yeah, maybe about then. But I mean, young enough for a goalkeeper.
Definitely.
7-8 years left in a career if he keeps his shape and plays well.
Yeah, definitely.
But I thought a good result for WBA. Shouldn't be disheartened.
Feels like a classic home performance though. What I'm not seeing from WBA is this sort of performance away from home.
Yeah, well
because they'll get results against big clubs if they play like this away from home.
Well, they try, but
I think they stress out. I don't know what it is. It's just they clam up, and to me it doesn't appear as though they're able to replicate the same. How do I put it? Resoluteness.
Yeah, resilience. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that resilience deteriorates when they're on the road, and I don't know if it's just because they feel like. I don't know if they're dizzy from the heights that they're reaching. Honestly, I'm not sure how to explain it, but they should have more faith. They've got a pretty well balanced side.
Yeah, but with Rondon and Chadley now, that's a pretty decent little front too.
Attack.
Yeah.
I don't know. Good side.
Yeah, I mean, away from home, they certainly have to go to a more counter-attacking kind of formation to help,
for sure,
help try to break those big teams down. But
Nasser Chadley's a good link man.
But yeah, he is. He's an excellent link man.
Good link man.
But I mean, as I said before about Tony Pulis, if you want a guy that guarantees you a finish of about 14 in the league, he's your guy.
Well, they're doing better than that at the moment, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
I mean, WBA is now, 12th?
Yeah. And I mean, that's where you'd want them to be at the end of this. If he can get them to 12th, you look at that season, you go...
Nuts. Yeah, no.
Bravo,
I give him a standing ovation for that one. Yeah. So, look...
Never discount the Pulis, sir.
Bad result for Tottenham, though.
Bad result for them.
They really ran the risk there. I mean, now they're barely holding on to third. Liverpool's right up them. In fact, everyone's right up them. Chelsea, Everton, United.
Yeah.
God, even Southampton.
I mean,
it's 19 I mean, geez, there's really not a lot separating this league. Really not a lot at all.
It's 5 points in the top 7. That's ridiculous. And we're only 8 rounds in, so,
long way to go. Long season.
Yeah.
Tottenham should be disappointed there, though. I know WBA, we just sung their praises, but I would be expecting Tottenham to win that game. I know we both tipped them, and not just because...
Yeah,
because they're one of the formed teams.
They are an informed team.
Look what they did to
They dismantled City. Yeah. You would
dismantled
think that
City, but couldn't do WBA and
yeah, but
win.
You know what? This
is the league this year.
Yeah, that is the league this year. Anyway, we should skip to another game there. What else did we get wrong between us?
Look, another one so we both got the two obvious ones wrong. Look, I'm going to start with Palace and West Ham because, well, let's face it, that was one that we, what did we both tip? I tipped 2-1 victory and you tipped 1-1 draw. Neither of us had anything to do with West Ham, which, by the way, I would have normally picked West Ham.
Well, see...
But I finally gave up on them, and that's when they proved me wrong.
If you remember in the last podcast, I said, I kind of think they can win this, but Palace is so good and it's at home, I'm going to go with a draw.
We took the George Costanza logic,
we Costanza ourselves.
Completely.
The difference in that game, and I've been saying this for a while about Aaron Cresswell. He's one of the best attacking left-backs in the league, and his return completely transformed the way that West Ham can play.
Yeah, definitely.
He gives them width. He gives them solidarity. He lets them play a back three because he's defensively solid enough, but attacking brilliant in attack. So he actually gives them balance that they didn't have in that team before playing a flat back four. All of a sudden, you can see now Lazzini's into the game more. Payet can actually move inside. He's not as restricted. That team comes to life when Cresswell's there and he plays well.
So what I will say is, to our defence, we didn't know that West Ham were going to shift this formation when we made it.
I didn't even know that Cresswell was back, to be honest.
Same. When I saw the starting lineup before the match, I said, oh, okay, this is probably going to go against us here.
This could go well.
It just looked like a better balanced side. It reminded me a little bit of the Leicester game against United.
Yeah.
Where when they shift to a back three with two wing backs, they looked a lot stronger.
Way stronger.
Because we kept talking about the hole that was left by Kante.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's against Chelsea, not United.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
There you go.
That's the match that I kind of felt, oh, okay, I can sort of see, how that works. This is almost a direct replica.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that Leicester were in the same dire straits as West Ham are.
No.
But I think that West Ham basically acknowledge what you and I were saying on air, and probably as a direct result of what we said on air.
Absolutely, yeah.
Play that horn.
Yeah, Slavin's been listening. Hey, Slavin!
Slav!
Good old Slavy boy.
Slav tunes into the Studs Up podcast and he says, you know what, guys, you're right.
Yeah.
Have
you heard him on the Facebook page, though? Oh, he's harsh.
Yeah, I know, that's so true.
He really rips in.
Yeah, he does. He does like to rip in.
He loves that Rabona, though.
He does. Oh, that Rabona. I still play it on repeat.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Oh, man, it's like my Facebook profile now.
It is just so good. Anyway.
So, no, I think he realised quite obviously that's where their problem lay. Defensively, they were just not strong enough because they were finding their attacks. They're getting goals.
Yeah.
This was the problem. So they found their goal, and here it was. Here's the win.
And here's the problem. Now Cresswell's suspended.
Just a joke.
They have one game where he's back, and then he gets sent off. 2 yellows within 30 seconds. What was he doing? Just a weird call from him.
And the problem is they're both justified.
They were. It was a red. Yeah, it was 2 yellows. It was a red.
It's 2 yellows. I mean, I feel so bad for refs because they don't want to do that.
No.
And they try to give them every chance to get out of it.
30 seconds, yeah.
But he gave it away. He might as well have shown himself the red card.
Yeah. He may as well have just tripped him over and then said, "Look at me!"
Yeah, and just start walking off.
Yeah. Roy Keane style. Old school Roy Keane style.
Old school Roy Keane was like, I'm going to kill this guy. Yeah. I'm going to have to leave.
Yeah. Alfie Hengelag, smash. Yeah. I'm out. I'm just going to walk.
I'm just going to walk because I killed him.
Yeah.
He's dead.
He pretty much he killed his career.
Yeah.
It was terrible in hindsight. I know. Why were we laughing about this?
Well, it's kind of funny.
It is kind of funny, actually.
It's not us. It's funny because it's not me.
Touché, salesman.
Best thing for the Hammers. They really needed that.
They really did. And
it's too late for them. Their season is over, but they can definitely recover from here.
Oh, yeah. I could still see them finishing ninth, you know what I mean?
They're not getting top 4.
No, they're not in this season. And I mean, also, Palace shouldn't be disheartened.
No,
I mean, it was a loss. I thought
agree.
they played pretty well. I don't know how Benteke missed that penalty. That was one of the worst penalty attempts I think I've ever seen.
Well, he did the same as Jaja.
Yes, he did.
He literally did his impression of
Jaja. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It was not great.
It was a sight to behold.
It was a sight to behold. You know what? Speaking of missed penalties, let's dive to the other game where there were 2 missed penalties and we got the result wrong. Everton versus Manchester City.
I mean, we both got it wrong, and I'm shocked because if you looked at if you watched the game, we probably should have been right.
Hey, I said 3-1,
I know,
and I stand by that scoreline.
It probably should have been.
2 missed penalties and a complete bossing of that game.
How often has that happened?
2 missed penalties in a game?
Does anyone know? I mean, write in and tell us because I was actually thinking that walking in here today, and I couldn't think of many.
No, it's very rare.
Especially for a team of that caliber.
I know.
I'm just thinking, I think somebody said it in the aftermath and made me laugh quite out loud. They said, I bet you're missing James Milner now. He's banging him in for Liverpool.
Smashing him in left, right and centre.
Yeah, I laughed so hard.
That's not bad, actually.
Because I kind of feel like maybe they are.
Yeah, well, what I mean, again, they bossed that game. I mean, the other... The fascinating thing about that game was, though, for me... Koeman's tactics were spot on.
They were
spot on, and he still got bossed. That's how good that Manchester City team is.
That was scary.
They are scary.
You do
when they're
know
in full
though
form.
that on another day,
that's 6-1.
That could have been 6-1.
It would,
and against
in
a
many
good
ways,
side,
it should have been.
And I mean, assume Everton did nothing different.
Yeah,
it could have
just
still been 6-1.
Yeah, it could have just been a whooping.
Man.
But I mean, his tactics were perfect. He put 3 up against them. He tried to force them down. He played between the lines to try and stop Silva. And it was an insanely good performance. They had just a good team.
Your boy.
My boy Lukaku.
The cack.
Yeah, the cack.
Lukaku.
That goal, by the way.
How good is he?
He is strong. He is quick. He can finish.
He's one of the best strikers in the league.
Yeah.
Simple. One of the best strikers in the world.
Yeah. If you could choose any striker for Manchester United, I would pick him over
Dangerous.
Aguero for me.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
I'd choose Aguero for Liverpool because he would suit us perfectly.
He would suit you perfectly.
But I totally get Lukaku for United.
Yeah, Lukaku to United would just be like, Mwah, thank you for that little cherry on top of...
He'd be the perfect person to take over from Ibra when Ibra's gone.
And him and Pogba, forget about it.
With Rashford.
Oh, please. Lock the door. Yeah, I want him really badly.
Mkhitaryan as well. I mean, forget it. This is just nuts.
Yeah, we've drifted off into fantasy league. Yeah, we've really drifted here.
Oh, goodness.
Anyway, no, it was an exceptional result for Everton. Well done. I mean, as always with Everton, they still played pretty well for what they were doing.
And they got the result.
They got their result.
That everyone else is struggling to get.
And they got their key player, Lukaku, into the game with one chance, and he buried it.
To be fair, though, that had as much to do with Lukaku as anything else.
Yeah, and
how many people are scoring that goal?
No.
Serious question. How many people in the league are even capable of putting that away under that pressure, considering they've been out of the game the whole match, basically?
Aguero. I'm drawing blank. Maybe Ibra, but like I mean, he's got the strength, but does he have that pace? I don't think so.
Yeah, true. Doesn't have quite the pace. I mean, so what? Maybe 2 strikers.
Maybe. I can. And
Henry in his pomp.
Griezmann. You know.
Yeah. But that was nuts.
Yeah.
So really, Man City will feel so hard done by because they got done by the most ridiculous counter.
Yeah, the most ridiculous
ever.
Individual. I'm just going to ramroad your team and just score a ridiculous goal out of nothing.
I just rock.
Yeah, I'm just amazing. Thanks
just
very
amazing.
much.
Yeah, literally. He should have just taken off his shirt and it says underneath, "I'm amazing."
I'm amazing
because everyone just gone. Yeah.
Now one off 100 Premier League goals now.
Oh, man, we were just talking about that before as well.
He's like 23.
3rd or 4th fastest to that mark.
Yeah, and he's 23, 24 years old.
Baby.
He's tiny.
I forget. I keep thinking he's like 34.
Yeah, no, everyone's like, he's like 28 now. It's like, no, he's 23, guys.
Because he's been around forever.
I know. It's ridiculous. He's such a good player. We have spoken about Lukaku a lot here. We should move on to another game.
I was so impressed with him.
Yeah.
Actually, you mentioned fantasy, and it reminded me that I did really well in my fantasy this week because of Southampton and Austin. Austin, the double goal. Yeah. Double salvo from Austin.
Tell you what, he should have had about 6 too.
No, fine. And I got to say, that's the one thing that's concerned me about Austin this season. He's getting the goals, don't get me wrong. What's that, 7 in 6 games that he's played?
Yeah.
But, I mean, he could have had nearly double that.
Yeah,
he's getting a lot of chances that he's missing. Is it still rustiness?
I honestly think it is rustiness. I really do think.
This many games?
No, I really do think it's still rustiness. I mean, he was a player who he's an old school poacher.
Yes, he is.
But I mean, he's still, when you're a poacher like that, takes you a good 10 games to get right back into your rhythm.
Fair enough.
What I mean? I think
we disagree on that. I think I don't know. I think if he's not careful, if he doesn't improve, this run could dry up very quickly.
It could dry up. It very well could. But remember, he basically spent a year in the Championship.
Yeah.
Moved to Southampton, couldn't buy a game last season.
Couldn't buy one.
Finally got back into the team and is getting a run. This is his first real run of games.
Works well with Nathan Redmond, by the way.
No, who was my man of the match in that game, by the way.
Nuts, right?
He is finally really starting to blossom into a talent. He always had the talent as a winger at Norwich, but now he's really starting to blossom.
We both picked that game, so I don't want to harp on it too long. Yeah. I mean, we were both right, of course.
Of course.
What am I saying? We only picked half the round.
Between the two of us, we're one Robbie Savage.
We are. Oh, gosh. Goodness me, that is awful.
Yeah, that's terrible, isn't it? And he's still got better hair, the bastard.
What I do want to say, although we both picked this match, I do want to shout out to Bournemouth, the Cherries.
Holy hell.
6-1.
Holy hell.
And they were good for it.
They were good for it. They're a good little team.
That was a belting 6-1. That was just a belter. I was very impressed.
Well,
very impressed.
I'll go back to saying this, though, about what we've been saying about Hull for a very long time. If you're getting beaten 6-1 by Bournemouth, with all due respect to Bournemouth,
absolutely,
who had an excellent game.
And it was at home.
And it was at home. If you're losing 6-1 to Bournemouth, pack it in.
You're in trouble.
Yeah, you're not getting out of this season.
I think you're immeasurably
bolted on for relegation.
Yeah, I think
you could buy a whole new team in January. bolted on for relegation.
Yeah, look, I just don't know how I feel about them now. I don't know what they can do.
Well, there's nothing much they can do until January. I mean, and Mike Phelan, who this is his first managerial gig, he was the Manchester United assistant,
Correct.
is clearly a very capable coach.
He hasn't got the team.
He's got 15 players or something.
And they keep getting suspended.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
it's nuts.
I feel so bad for him. You just look at that and you go, "Oh, buddy,
Yeah, no.
What can you do?" But
anyway, yeah. I wanted to shout out because that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Well done.
What about Junior Stanislas, by the way? I just want to say, remember
how good is he?
But remember when he was like the bright young thing at West Ham, he's now 7 years ago or whenever it was?
It's the real deal, this guy.
He's finally come through, hasn't he? 26 now.
He's the best player. Him and Callum Wilson.
Yeah, I love, my love for Callum Wilson.
How much have they all overshadowed Wilshere?
Yeah. Isn't it amazing?
Like, is he even there?
No, I know. He's just like he doesn't even exist.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and sadly I do. For his career, sadly I do.
Yeah,
Junior Stanislas, by the way, wouldn't be surprised with, in maybe a year, England call up.
Yeah, it's a massive call.
Just going to say.
Massive call.
Not saying you'll make the squad or not make the team or anything, but a cheeky little call up into your 26-man squad.
Yeah, fair enough.
Could maybe see it.
Fair enough. I would see it happening. One that we both got wrong again was Middlesbrough-Watford.
Yes.
And I am a little surprised that we got that wrong because Watford is so hot and cold. But was this a maturing? Because they weathered a little bit of a storm there, and then they kept out of them. And I mean, the goal was just beautiful.
Well, you don't expect their left back to do that.
Yeah, no,
you don't see that.
Stunning
You'll see that
goal,
once
though.
a season.
It was crisp.
Yeah, it was. He really belted it.
Crisp.
It was Tim Cahill crisp, I'm going to call it.
Oh, wow.
Tim Cahill crisp.
Mate, that goal was also brilliant.
Yeah. For anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about, by the way, Tim Cahill just moved to the Australian League and scored an absolute belter of a goal.
35 metres.
Yeah, it was a bit ridiculous. Just look it up if you haven't seen it. It's pretty great.
Edge of the centre circle, basically.
Just woof.
Yeah.
And
he spanked it.
Yeah. Much like their left back, whose name completely escapes me.
Hotz or something?
Yeah,
Jose
like
Cobilas. He's got this really South American name, but he's actually Greek.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Greek, born in Germany, and raised by a Greek father and a Uruguayan mother.
Wow.
I think it is.
Well, you've belted me there on knowledge. Well done.
No, I think they mentioned it during the match.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, no, I'm just recalling. I'm not that brilliant, trust me. I want to claim it, but I know I could have sold you on that lie.
Seriously.
I'm not selling you on a lie.
I just thought to myself, dear listener, Simon Says actually did his research. This is a first. This is a new height, everyone.
No research. I'm not that good.
Just total
I can't
recall.
lie.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So anyway, I was just that was another one I wanted to point out that we both got wrong.
Yeah.
Proving our lunacy.
Yeah.
Look, one
Between
that I got
Robbie
right
Savage.
that you got wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Stoke Sunderland. I know you hate Sunderland. I know you hate them.
I tipped them to draw. How would I hate them?
I know you relished in this outcome. This result.
I've said it once. I'll say it a million times.
Why do you hate Sunderland?
I don't hate Sunderland.
It's a big deal.
There's no hatred of Sunderland. I quite like the Black
Why
Cats.
are you
it's
currently
okay.
burning a cigarette through David Moyes' eyes?
Oh, okay.
Where'd you get that picture? Where'd that even come from?
I have them on standby in case I have to burn into his eyes.
And why underneath it does it say, I hate Sunderland?
No, it doesn't.
Why did you write that?
It says, I hate Moyes. The Sunderland part's scratched out.
They got their victory.
They did.
And they were good for it.
Yeah, and Stoke actually looked excellent.
Looked really good,
Arnautovic is a hell of a player.
But this is kind of what I expected from Stoke from day one.
And and it was also the first game of the season I've seen Wilfred Boney actually play
Do something!
well.
He
actually
did something,
played well.
everyone!
Yeah,
Hallelujah.
finally, we found him. Yeah,
I'm popping these party poppers. They're great.
I think he finally rocked up to training and went, a football. I remember why I'm here now.
I'm a striker.
Yeah, I'm a professional footballer.
Yes,
yeah.
nice.
He actually had a really good game.
He did. Arnautovic, great.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. Alan, he's on fire.
I know.
The guy cannot be stopped.
I read a ridiculous statistic, right? I read a crazy stat. He's got 29% of his career goals in the last 7 weeks.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, that is a hot streak, my friend.
Where did you read? Now, that, my dear friends, is why he makes this show.
Hey, that's called research.
I don't know. Research?
Read?
Research? Rocking up and just talking? Wait,
No,
what?
yeah,
What did you say?
I do some reading. No, isn't that an amazing
I can't read.
stat?
I'm totally illiterate.
It's true. I have to prompt you on the names of the teams.
He does.
Tottenham.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. So that was like a Christmas meal.
It is. It's a turkey. How'd you know?
The Tottenham.
Don't write in Tottenham fans.
We're joking, of course.
Very much like your team. Unlike Simon says, doesn't like Sunderland. Anyway, moving on.
We've already established you're burning flags.
It's of Moyes.
And urinating on their badge. I mean, it's disgusting.
No, look, I mean, Sunderland in big trouble. Well, I mean, if Hull are bolted on for the drop...
your sick pleasure at that aside, it is quite disturbing to see the free fall that they're in, and I don't see a way out for them. Well, they're stuffed.
I read Gus Poyet actually came out this week and said there's something fundamentally wrong with the club. He didn't know what it was. Moyes doesn't know what it was to fix it yet. He might in time, but... There's clearly something broken about the way Sunderland kind of
there's clearly something in the background that we don't see.
Yeah,
that's
there's
going
something
on.
there clearly.
Something in training, something in... these players don't look like players that even necessarily care that they're losing. Can I say that?
No, you can.
I mean, Sunderland fans, we joke a lot. It's just a joke that's gotten out of hand. Yeah. But I would love to hear from one of you, any of you, some of you, what you think the problem is, because as an outsider looking in, it's quite sad to see, because you've got enough good players to put a better run than this together. You're better than this.
Yeah. And I mean, it can't be from like the chairman. I mean, Ellis Short's a great chairman. He's always backed his managers full tilt. But there's something about it's like they don't rock up for 26 rounds of the season.
But it doesn't seem to matter who the manager is.
That's what I mean. And with 12 weeks to go, they just go, oh crap, you know what? If we get relegated, my pay's going to get cut by 40%.
And they all just pull out and they do well.
It boggles my mind. If anyone does actually have an idea on why that is, studs up, find us on Facebook, and
I'd
just comment. Yeah, I would absolutely love to hear, because I don't know what's going on there, if I'm being brutally honest. They should be doing better, but
100%,
they're not.
100%. And look...
And you know what else? Like, I gave David Moyes a lot of shtick, but he's actually a very good manager. He should be able to turn that club around.
Yeah, look,
he took over Everton when they were basically bankrupt and turned them around and got them into the top 4.
He's good enough, right? And I mean, as you say, he found his level.
Yeah,
I think he's completely suited to that club.
He is.
I think he's
the perfect managerial appointment for Sunderland. So I don't understand what's going on.
Do you think it's a little bit like Stoke? They're a win away from turning it around.
Gotta hope so for Sunderland's sake.
They're not as good as Stoke.
No, they don't have as... No.
And I mean, West Ham as well. The problem is they're sitting down the bottom there with teams that are pretty okay. So they're going to get a little left behind.
Yeah. I mean, they need to put wins on the table. I mean, if you look
at
that...
They're better than Hull.
Yeah, no, I was about to bring up this exact... If you look at that table and you see Hull as high up as they are and Sunderland as low down as they are, you look at that and you think,
what's happening?
Oh, Sunderland, you're in all sorts.
Yeah. You're in the deepest of...
Yeah, the deepest of deep, yes. Yeah. You couldn't get much further up the river without that paddle.
Yeah.
Like,
you're done.
It's huge problems there. And they have to recruit in January. They have to. I mean, but there's nothing else they can do.
Like, I mentioned Sacco. I think Sacco would be a tremendous buy for them.
Yeah.
I also think that if there's any truth at all to the Sturridge rumours, even if it was on loan for half a season...
Please. Get over there.
Can you imagine Sturridge and Sacco? Sturridge with Defoe up front. You got Sacco at the back, marshalling that defence. Well, suddenly, that's a very different side, isn't it?
That is a very different side.
If I was him, I would also buy Lucas Leiva from Liverpool. I'm not just saying Liverpool because I know them. I just think that those players are literally on the chopping block. So why not go for them?
Fabian Delth's the one I would go for.
Ah, yes. Oh, my God.
He's the one. He could actually transform
the season. Why not all of them?
Yeah, well, you may as well give it a go.
Give it a go. Why not?
The
only thing is, Sacco will be expensive.
Yeah, he would.
Like, he'll be a £17 million defender.
Oh, they're not paying that for a defender.
Maybe they'll pay in installments. Who knows?
Yeah,
might be one of those things where they loan him with an option to buy.
They'd have to give him 6 months as a loan, and then if it comes good, sure. If they survive, you spunk the money, and everyone moves on with their life.
Yeah, because great, you actually bought someone who can marshal a defense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and they need it.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing about their squad that I should have said. It's got weaknesses all through it. It's like systemic weaknesses everywhere, and they really, if they don't strengthen that spine, they're going down.
That's right. Because they look overall a little bit championshipy.
Yes.
And they're only a few buys away from looking Premier League.
Yeah. To coin a term.
To coin some terms.
I mean, like, even their class players that I'd look at, I'm like, oh, you've got John O'Shea, but he's like 36 now. You know what I mean?
I don't think he's their problem, though. I think he's not bad. I think he does some good work for them.
No, he does, but he's starting to get a bit championshipy.
But they needed someone like a Joe Allen.
That's right. They needed a signing like that.
That would have been a really good fit for Sunderland, which is why I think some of these Liverpool discards, I mean, why not Lucas Leiva? Yeah, he has some bad matches here and there, but overall, he's pretty good.
Yeah,
he's definitely Premier League quality.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, he could totally fit into that side and do well. I don't think he fits in at Liverpool, but I think
not in the current guys.
No, but I think he totally fits someone like Sunderland. He wouldn't be expensive at all.
No, you're right. He'd be a decent.
Get him for Nicks. Yeah, get him for £7 million and be done with it.
Probably under.
Yeah, maybe £5.
You could probably get him for $3.5. You know what I mean? Maybe. He's probably on the last 6 months of his contract, probably.
So you're probably getting him for nothing. He's not a bad buy. He's going to give you some solidarity in midfield.
Yeah.
I would say Delph, Sacco, Lucas Leiva, and make an audacious attempt to get Sturridge on loan. So he can prove himself. Because he might just use Sunderland to prove himself, but who cares?
Still get 10 goals in 17 matches and all of a sudden, hey, I got my big move on.
So there you go. Suddenly, that team looks great with those buys.
That's the second time in this podcast we've played fantasy football.
I know. I like it. I like it. Felt good.
Hey, by the way, write in if you agree or disagree with those opinions.
I want to know what you guys think. What would you do to arrest the slide of Sunderland?
If you were Moyes, what would you do?
Apart from hide from Garfield, because Garfield will come after you.
Coming for you, Moyes.
You gotta let that one go.
I know. I never will.
Okay, Arsenal Swansea.
Now I know that you've got things to say about this game.
Well, we both picked the match.
Yeah,
but come on. I mean, firstly, it was arsey.
It was an really arsey Arsenal. Well, their second win in a row that was
second win that was arsey. I mean, those Walcott goals were a joke.
Oh, mind you, he definitely should have got the third goal, the fourth goal for Arsenal.
I agree. I don't
know how he missed that.
I'm just looking at that side and these last two performances, and I say, as much as I think they were awful, and they basically almost didn't deserve the victories, this kind of proves that they're right up for it this season. I think, but that's my opinion.
No, I agree.
I just think that these are the games that prove that they're really up for the fight this season.
I honestly think this is the best Arsenal team in the last 10 years.
Easy. I have to agree, even though I don't quite like you. Especially after the match this weekend.
Hey, by the way, what did you think of Xhaka's red card?
Yeah, good riddance to bad rubbish.
Whoa!
I have to be harsh.
You hate you some Xhaka, don't you?
I really don't, but I want to go.
You called it early. You called it so early that it was going to suck. To be honest
with you, I just think that was just. What do you do?
I didn't think that was a red, though.
I think it could be. I personally wouldn't have given a red.
I would not give that a red any day of the week.
But I can see how in real time, angle.
I thought it was very harsh. Put it that way.
Yeah, it was, but it can be given.
Yeah,
he put himself in that position. But mostly you can't blame the player, I guess.
No.
The takeaway from it is whether or not you agree with the ref's decision, it's almost inconsequential. The question is, did he really deserve it? And I don't think that he deserved it.
No, I don't think he did either. No.
But I say sucked in that happened to him. I don't feel bad for him at all.
Your hatred of him is hilarious to me.
It's not hatred.
I still think he's
I just
a
don't
great
care.
player. No, I get it. But the thing about Arsenal at the moment is that they always try and walk it in. There's the IT crowd reference joke, but no, like the
but they did walk it in.
They did. I know. It's hilarious. It was like they haven't changed in 15 years. They just walk it in. But the Ozil goal was amazing.
But how good's he this season?
Yeah, he's finally come to the fore.
Way to be the talisman. Him and Sanchez firing makes them very dangerous.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, Wenger's found the formation that he needs. It's very fluid. It's working so well for them,
and they're getting the results in games that they would lose, or draw last season.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the last 10 seasons.
Yeah, that's right.
Mind you, for that goal, I just wanted to bring up the one last thing. Why didn't Fabianski come and claim that ball?
I don't know. But is Fabianski that good?
Oh, no.
So
he was part of the Arsenal team when they were terrible.
Bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Honestly, he was a massive weak link.
Yeah, he was terrible
so
for
him
them
gone,
for the most part.
I'm just kind of seeing more of just Fabianski, really.
Yeah.
Fabianski fans, write in. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
You're wrong, but I'd like to hear what your defense is of him because, he's just rubbish.
Yeah, I would love if just one Arsenal fan was like, Fabianski over Czech. That would that would make me laugh.
Wow.
That would actually make me giggle.
I don't know. It might kill me. I don't know if I could handle that. That'd be too funny.
That would actually be amusing. Please write in and kill Simon Says for me.
Yeah. Write in, by all means.
Hey, I think there's only one game left on the list, and we should give it a little bit of time.
We should.
Because it's Chelsea versus Leicester.
That's right.
Now, this game is fascinating to
Chile.
me. Wow, okay, Chile. Fair enough. Pretty sure that's a country.
Chelsea and Lace.
Yeah, no, I got it. It was just terrible. I understood it. It wasn't good.
Hey, we both picked the victory,
We
so
did.
that counts.
We did.
Leicester in a full-blown crisis now. Full-blown crisis.
How do you figure full-blown crisis?
Because he's unwilling to change his side. Because even when he changed it back, and they got bad again.
Yeah, I know.
They
There
were
is a problem
good.
there.
Sorry, they were bad,
Yeah.
and then they got good, and then he changed it again back to what they were, and they were bad again. They were at 4-4-2, and they were getting trounced. It looked like Chelsea were going to put 106 goals
smash
in,
them,
right? And then he changed it to a 5-3-2.
Yeah.
And they were good again.
Yeah.
And they looked dangerous. I'm like, well, they're coming back.
Yeah,
I was
they're
genuinely
countering.
thinking, they are coming back.
Yeah.
But then he inexplicably went back to... Who does that?
I don't know.
It makes no sense that he went back to a 4-4-2 and they got smashed again.
Yeah, but to be fair, this is classic Claudio Ranieri from 15 years ago when he was known as the Tinker Man.
But not within a half hour, 35 minutes.
He used to do it all the time.
Space.
He used to do. Don't you remember? Don't you remember? Chelsea versus Monaco, and I think 2002 or 2003.
This match got really under my skin because
Really?
I think that he's now the problem, and I don't want to say that because
that's
he
terrible.
did such an amazing job. Well,
Yeah.
he's failing to recognise an obvious reality that we all know. Kante was not replaced, which means they look culpable in defence.
They got to change the system. Yeah.
And they've got to do something to change it. The 5-3-2, to be honest with you, I didn't know that was going to do it. But then when I saw it in action,
You went, aha.
I was very impressed.
Yeah, I mean that's a formation that suits Leicester because it lets you still play two up front. It gives you midfield stability. The only problem in that system is what you do with Mahrez. But
Bad luck.
oh,
Bad luck.
Last season's
sell him,
player of the
sell
year.
him, sell him for a fortune, and keep winning games. I mean, if that's your option, you got to do it. I mean, Sturridge. I look at Sturridge as someone who I love at Liverpool, but he no longer works for the system. So if we got a fortune for him, I would sell.
yeah. I feel something very similar about Rooney, except I really don't like him, and I'd
hate
take
Rooney.
peanuts. I'd take peanuts.
That was an awful example.
I just hadn't spoken about
It's
Rooney.
like, I know you like oranges, so, here's a zucchini.
I like zucchini.
I don't care, but it's like, it's not the same thing. Why would you even... What the hell's that got to do with anything?
Nothing. I just wanted to annoy you.
What if it's someone you actually liked but didn't fit? Like, what if it was... what if it was
Schneiderlin.
Ibrahimovic?
Oh.
Someone who you like and he no longer suddenly fit at the club.
I'd try to change the system to suit Ibra.
Really?
I would try.
I wouldn't. If I had to fashion that side
Look,
of it,
if we dropped him, and Pogba and Rashford started drilling 5-0s every week, I'd let Ibra go.
Okay. So kind of like what's happening at Liverpool then.
Yeah, kind of. Except without all the 5-0s.
Well, it doesn't have to be 5-0s. We're getting 4-1s and 3-1s and...
Yeah, it's been
We're
going
higher
pretty
than
well.
United in the ladder.
That's true. Yeah, I can't deny that.
No,
sadly.
you really can't.
No, I can't come back
Facts.
to that one. Damn it.
No.
Anyway.
You can go, actually.
Okay, I'll see you later. No, we should go back to the
seriously,
Chelsea list.
so Leicester really bothered me, that match.
Okay.
I think this is a full-blown crisis now because if he seriously thinks that 4-4-2 is the formation and just a bit of tinkering in a match is going to spark them to life, he's mistaken and he's in trouble.
Well, they're not going to get relegated.
No, not that kind of trouble. Sorry. I mean, I'm not suggesting that. But mid-table is a bad result for them. It's awful.
See, I disagree. Because, because 2 years ago...
Because you're brainless?
No, 2 years
because
ago...
you hate Moyes?
No, 2 years... Well, yeah.
Is it because Mahrez is from Saudi Arabia? Is that why?
Is he really? I didn't know that. Oh, okay. No,
you and your
that's not
Brexit
why.
claims? You're worried that he's going to infiltrate and he's another one of those moochers off... he's taken an English job, has he?
He has. Wow.
Just made you sound so racist.
I don't. Why did we go down that path?
I don't know. It's got very
it's
dark.
So weird. It's so weird.
I know.
No. Like 2 years ago, they were favourites for relegation.
Mm-hmm.
He somehow, against literally every odd,
5,000 to 1 odds.
5,000 to 1 odds, dragged them to a title.
Yes. And he should have retired, which I maintain.
No, I know you do. But mid-table for them is still a win because 2 seasons
It's
ago
not a win.
they were
It's not a
nailed
win.
on to go down.
Doesn't matter. They still won the league, which
They've
means
become a
expectations
Premier League
changed.
club.
They won something like £74 million because of that victory.
And they spent
They also
most of
sold Kante for 35 or 30 odd or whatever
32,
it was.
I think,
32, which means they had £100 million.
And they spent
in
like
the bank.
70 million of it.
Yep. They spent a ton of it.
Yeah.
And they are not at least as good. Forget that I didn't expect them to win the league again, but I expect better performances than this, and I expect their manager not to be blind to the side that they are. He bought a second striker who within the first 3 or 4 games of the season, you noticed didn't play that well with Vardy in the 4-4-2. They looked a hell of a lot better with a 5-3-2 because, they weren't flopping over each other in backtracking, and the system still worked. That whole, counter-attacking formation, getting long balls forward to suit their strikers. They got a real poacher in Slimani. I mean, he's good.
And Vardy.
And Vardy's Vardy can, when he's on song, break games. So why would you then move away from that? That means to me that there is a managerial problem.
Okay.
Structurally, they've got a problem.
Okay. No, interesting. I mean, it's hard to disagree with that because, I agree with...
happening.
No, well, I agree with you on the formation front of it, but I still think...
That's his choice. That's the manager's choice.
I know.
The players don't say, by the way, Claudio, we're playing this way this week.
Yeah. Only Leo Messi does that.
Only Leo Messi.
Yeah.
And he's a god. Best player in the world, better than Ronaldo. Ever was.
Oh. It's clearly factually inaccurate. Anyway, let's not get
not
bogged down in that.
inaccurate.
Let's not get bogged down in that. Jesus Christ. Anyway, no.
Messi fans right in.
Don't. I don't want to be swamped with Leo.
Is it because he's from Argentina?
Yes, because I'm Brexit. No, it's definitely not.
I'm just going to throw that one out for everything.
That just wins you everything, basically.
You don't like that coffee I got you? This is because you're racist. What? What are you talking about?
I like my coffee black. What are you talking about? Anyway, no, I loved Leicester's formation in this... Chelsea's formation, in this game, because he finally got the best out of A. Cahill, B. David Luiz was both brilliant and hilarious in equal measure.
Oh my God, I love it. And he hurt himself. That's the best part. He hurt himself. He hurt himself. I shouldn't be laughing. It's very sadistic of me.
Yeah, by the way, dear listener, if you haven't seen this, he tried what I would describe, I guess, as a bicycle kick.
A bicycle cross.
A bicycle cross?
Yeah.
And then he somehow air swung and then came down directly on his big floppy head.
I thought that would have cushioned him. That answered that question for me.
No, there's no cushioning in that.
I thought it was like an airbag.
No,
I thought that would cushion anything.
No, that's just where his brain should be.
I
That's
thought you could hit him with a hammer. And nothing would happen. So now I know.
Now you know.
But he then had that what the hell was that free kick? That was nuts. He hit that a la Ronaldo.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
It just dipped like a mofo.
Yeah.
And just freaked me out. I thought it was going in, and I was thinking to myself at that moment, in that, the life flashes before your eyes sort of thing.
Oh no, I have to like David Luiz. I
have to actually discuss this and speak about it in glowing terms at the next podcast. Yeah. How am I going to explain this to Garfield?
But then he went and totally redeemed himself.
Yes, he totally redeemed himself with that, whatever
it was. Yeah.
Just go watch it.
It's hilarious. You'll very much enjoy it.
It is as good as the Rabona to watch.
Oh, yeah. I would argue possibly better because it's David Luiz.
I wet myself on both of them, so it was too good.
But I love that the formation that Chelsea's got going now with Victor Moses, a rejuvenated player, still only 25 years of age.
How good was the assist for his goal though? Oh my goodness.
Oh, please.
He's got some talent. He
does. And Diego Costa just keeps on being king of the bastards, but just keeps scoring and scoring and scoring.
Yep. He graduated with first-class honours from the John Terry Academy of Bastardry.
Yeah, yep.
But
he's the star pupil.
Yep, that's right. He got the honorary medal in douchebaggery.
Yep.
So, but he remains a striker that continues to bang in goals.
Yeah, and excellent goals as well.
Yeah. You can't doubt that he's the informed striker in the league, right alongside Aguero.
Yeah, pretty much. And maybe Lukaku.
Oh, sorry, yes, and Lukaku.
Yeah.
The guy's just too good.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
So, yeah.
Well, that was our thoughts on this round. This is as good a chance as any to wrap it up here.
Yeah.
I hope that you enjoyed the podcast this week. You can jump onto our Facebook page, just Studs Up. We've spoken about it a lot in this podcast. Or you can go to our website, studsup-football.com. The next podcast we're going to do is going to